What's up, War Report family? Your boy C-Dub here, and it is the pre-game show. Auburn is set to take on Kentucky on the road. I'm joined here by none other than Mike G. Mike, how are we feeling? Auburn's set to kick off in another 30 minutes. Hugh Freeze is there. There was a bit of a scare there. He was feeling sick, under the weather there, but he was spotted near Tiger Walk.
He was
spotted near Tiger Walk. So, your thoughts on Auburn's game? I'm Mike G. He's Chris Phillips. So how are we feeling, man? How are we feeling about this game? This has to be the game. This appears to be the most gettable game left on Auburn's schedule as far as a P4 opponent is concerned. How do you feel about Auburn's chances today?
Oh man, it's tough. You're looking around college football this morning, and you're seeing an Oklahoma team that probably could have won if they had some semblance of an offense today. No offense. They went down to Ole Miss. A Vandy team, if they had a little bit more offense, they might be beating Texas right now. This comes down to one question for me, Caesar. It's the same question I've had all season. It's, can Auburn score enough points to win? That's it. Can they score 21? Can they score 21 to 24 points to stay in this, keep the defense off the field, sustain drives, and have a chance to win this one? I don't know the questions of that and the answer to that. And honestly, the question has to be asked, are you who you are at this point in the season? Can you turn it around? For those of you know, I do Locked On UCF. They had a big game versus BYU today. Same thing. Same old story with the Gus Malzahn teams. It's, can they score enough points to win? The answer to that question today was a resounding no. They couldn't score 21 points. They lost. So, we watched Florida drop 48 on Kentucky. If Auburn can come up with 28 points in this game, they can win. 28.
I honestly believe that the first team to 20 probably wins this game. Georgia, the most points Georgia has scored all season is 20 points, Mike. That's the most points Kentucky has scored. Auburn's problems with scoring are well documented. I think this is going to be a defensive struggle. So I kind of with you on, do you think Auburn can does Auburn need 28?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
I do. And the reason why I think that is because it's, well, that like the defense has played well, but they've given up big plays at times, and particularly at ends of games. So if you're Auburn, you don't jump out to a big lead in this one. You're going to need to score a point. You're going to have to score something in the fourth quarter. And red zone offense has been putrid. It's been so bad. And I have my questions about whether we see a different approach. Do they try to target Cam Coleman a little bit more in this one? What are we going to see? What are we going to see from Auburn in this one? Does Hugh Freeze change his offensive approach?
What does he change it to at this point, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah.
It has not produced the wins, and it has not produced in the red zone, and it has not produced in the fourth quarter. So, is there a pivot here? It seems like they're sticking with Peyton Thorne. I mean, at this point, I don't really have a problem with that. I just feel like scheme something up, man. What are they going to do differently, man? How do they pivot at this point in the season? Or are you just accepting defeat? I've asked this question over and over again. What is the messaging at this point to your team? What are you playing for?
Right.
I think that's fair to ask at this point.
Do you foresee any change in personnel in this game outside of the QB position? We already have lamented that Peyton Thorne will be the guy for the remainder of the season, it appears. Who do you expect to see younger guys in any positions? Some people
wide receiver is it. Wide receiver is it. I mean, this boils down to wide receiver. Last week, you had two huge drops by Sam Jackson and Robert Lewis. Does that earn them the bench, or do you continue to go back to those guys?
Yeah.
And if you listen, if you stick with them, great. They just need to get it done. Your margin for error, Hugh Freeze has talked about this, is so small right now. You need those guys to make those catches in those critical moments. Last week, Robert Lewis didn't do it, and it likely would have been the game-winning catch. Murphy's Law, man. That's what Auburn's going through right now. I mean, it's tough, I know, for Auburn fans, but maybe today is the day that they find the extra big play or they tweak something a little bit on offense. Can you get Cam Coleman going? There's been a lot of questions about the amount of targets that he's had. Right? I think our friend Zach noted that inside, like he's had like less than 8 targets or something, or 7 targets inside of 9 yards so far this season. That's it. Yeah. So, can you get him involved in any other way and get the ball? It feels very boom or bust in the pass game right now because the big plays are there, but where are the well-executed intermediate plays that keep drives going and that you need in the red zone, quite honestly?
The run game. It's been an option in this offense. Does Auburn lean heavily on the run game? We know that Kentucky is pretty good in terms of their front seven, in terms of how they defend the run. There have been teams that have had some success running the ball. So how does Auburn get Jarquez going early in this game, Mike?
I mean, look, you just have to block it. It's football, man. Put hat on hat, block the ball, hand the ball to Jarquez, get ahead of the chains on first down. The last couple of weeks, we've seen Auburn come out throwing the ball on the first drive, fail miserably, and did not get Jarquez involved in the game plan until late first quarter, early second. I asked the question last week, you maybe hand it off to 27? He's doing pretty well this season when they go to him. So I'll be interested to see, do they come out and try to throw the ball off the bat, or do they try to establish the run early in this one? I think Kentucky, you've hit enough big plays downfield that Kentucky should respect the big play with Keandre Lambert-Smith and Cam Coleman. But the intermediate stuff is really what I'm looking at. They have not been able to find anything short over the middle of the field consistently. So I think if you're Kentucky, you settle for giving up the big play here and there, and you take away everything else, including the run game. Stack the box, and if they beat you over the top, they beat you. They haven't won. They haven't won with it yet.
Yeah, and I guess I'm wondering. I'm trying to figure out how close is this? I mean, they must feel that they're close to where they're not changing a lot. Because again, this is not the same offense Auburn started the season with, right? Auburn is now huddling up. They're trying to keep the time of possession pretty close. It's just a different attack. Payne Thorne's not throwing over the middle of the field. Like it's just different. It's just different. It's just a different offense. And I think we've seen less explosive plays as a result of that. Does Auburn try to go for the explosive plays and risk turnovers? Because that's another thing that's declined as well, Mike. Auburn hasn't been turning the ball over. They had 1 turnover last week of the Payne Thorne fumble.
Well, you don't have a choice, right? Because it's about all you've been able to do in the passing game. So you have to keep going for those plays because you've been hitting them enough. If you take that away, then what do you have left on offense? Nothing, right? Like, so they've got to do that. They're going to continue to do the things that have worked, and they've got to find a way to make the things that haven't worked work at least to some degree in this one, which again is a short to intermediate passing game.
Yeah. Defensively, how much does Auburn get help from the defense?
They've gotten help from the defense all year. Defense has been there. The defense hasn't gone anywhere.
In terms of turnovers, or what I mean specifically, turning over Kentucky, or even getting a defensive score. Get some help.
The turnovers haven't really been, probably have been the thing that's been lacking the most on this defense. Big time turnovers. We'll see that in large part that'll have something to do with Kentucky, but they played well enough to win games. I think we're having the turnover conversation because the offense has performed so poorly that if they don't have a short field or the defense is scoring and special teams isn't scoring, Auburn, how do they have a chance? It's hard at this point. I'll go back to the question at the top of the broadcast. Are you who you are at this point in the season? Is it realistic to expect a defense 8 games in to just suddenly start getting turnovers that they haven't been getting all season. I don't know that they are, but but despite the lack of turnovers, they're playing well enough to win games. They're playing well enough to win games.
They are. They are. I just think the issue for Auburn has been in the second half making enough plays to win the game when it calls for you to, right? Stepping up in those clutch moments to make plays. Auburn just hasn't done enough of that to close games out. It seems opposing teams have.
Yeah, you've been in every single one of these games, Georgia included. Georgia was 21-10 going into the fourth quarter, and you had the ball. 4th and 1 or whatever, and you blew it.
Yeah.
So there have been plenty of opportunities for Auburn here this season. Hugh Freeze has shown his frustration. Monday was probably the first time I've seen him actually look defeated. He looked defeated. I would be too, but it's his job to figure out what can work in this one. Kentucky is a winnable game, man. I mean, it just hasn't been a game that Auburn's played all year that I just thought, they're just outmatched here.
Yeah.
You did a good job on Georgia defensively. They can be got. I still think they're the best team in the country. But from a talent perspective, Auburn, I mean, they could have, even if you lose that Georgia game, you could have looked better at the end of it. You could have executed a couple more plays that would have made it a little bit more interesting and changed the narrative of your team here. And that's what they've got to do. They've got to change the narrative.
Who helps them do that tonight? What are some who steps up tonight for you?
Defense. I'm just gonna say defense. The defense is gonna do what they've been doing all year. I think. I don't expect to see anything different from them. But on offense, I think you got to look at Cam Coleman and Malcolm Simmons. Get them the ball. Just get them the ball and let them make plays. Those are your big play guys. Those are your guys who can score from outside the red zone, right? Yeah, he's a given for me. But if you're asking me who else, yeah, I'm looking at those two.
Yeah,
they're going to play. They're going to play Cam no matter what. You just got to get him more involved in the game than he has been. Now, I did an interview on Friday that will air next week with Keldrick Falk over on The Victory. Look, these guys haven't quit. There's frustration in that locker room, but they haven't quit. Yeah. So tonight could be go a long way into making sure that there's buy-in here toward the end of the season. The recruits seem to still be buying in.
Yeah, Auburn has to begin to show some signs of life. I mean, again, they've been in every game, but they have to start finishing some games. Did you guys do a prediction on? Did you give us a prediction score on Wednesday, Mike?
Yeah, nobody. Strangely, nobody gave a prediction. This is how bad this is going. Somehow we got through that whole segment. I don't think anybody gave a prediction. I'm going back and forth. I did not pick Auburn versus Missouri. Again, I say it's something about a team that's finding ways to lose. I was very frustrated today because last week Brady Cook came back from the literal morgue to beat Auburn, and he couldn't make it a whole half versus Bama. Today, I'm at a loss for words at that. Can they find a way to win on the road at Kentucky? I think Kentucky's beatable. I think Auburn wins this one. Don't ask me a score. Whatever. Auburn wins somehow. I do think they need to score over 21 in this one to get the win. And maybe special teams chimes in here. Maybe they get a pick six. Maybe something happens here. But this is a gettable one.
Mike? A lot of them have been gettable.
Yeah, they all have been. They've all been gettable. This is why I struggle so much giving a score here, because it feels like whenever I think, this is the week, they find new lows. Man, what was it? 17 points last week versus Missouri, but 10 offensively. 10.
Right.
Come on, man. Even in you should be able to luck into 21 points in today's college football. Even against the better defenses, you should be able to luck yourself into 21 points.
Especially when you look at what Auburn is doing statistically on offense this year in some of the games. Like Auburn has actually been moving the football, but for whatever reason, Auburn, whether it's turnovers, just not making plays and an opportunity to sit points of the game, Auburn's leaving a lot of points on the field, Mike. And that just tells a larger story in terms of putting it all together. I should pick Auburn in this game, but until Auburn shows they can finish second halves of games, I'm going 14. I'm going 17-14 Kentucky here.
Oh, you're picking Kentucky?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Kentucky here.
All right. I'm not mad at it. No,
yeah,
I'm not bad at it.
I don't think either team gets to 20. I think it's a defensive struggle.
Okay.
Hope I'm wrong.
2-6, man.
I hope I'm wrong. But Auburn, at this point, Auburn has to show they can beat a team in the second half. You've had opportunities to do that. Oklahoma, Missouri. Both games you were up, should have closed it out. For whatever reason, couldn't make the play. Auburn has to start making plays tonight. They have to start making plays tonight. Let's get to some of you guys' comments. Y'all are ready to give some thoughts on here. CDF with the super chat says, "How do we soil the sheets tonight?"
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's the situation Auburn is in right now. Yeah,
that's what you're expecting now. Like, how do we blow this?
Yeah, I've been saying that for weeks here. It's just, again, something about teams finding a way to lose. It's tough.
Yeah. John Balkan says, "I'm just about to put this out there. Auburn is about to stop the slide." Hope so, John. Hope so, John. We will definitely see. Brad Browning says, "Last week I felt good about the game. This week, not so much. Gonna smash some beers and hope for the best." Brad sounds like us, Mike, without the beers, of course.
Yeah.
Hope for the best. Let's see what happens. Galaxy 74 says, "So the Super Soldier serum wasn't available for Cook this game." SOB went Super Saiyan 2 for Auburn.
You went Super Saiyan Blue for Auburn, bro. You went Ultra Instinct for Auburn. Screw that, man. It made me so mad.
Another microcosm of Auburn season.
Yeah, it just made me so mad. And I don't think did Missouri get shut out? I don't think they scored a single point.
Last time I looked, they had 0.
Yeah, so frustrating.
Yeah. Fire Freeze comes back and says, "I'm just wondering why Vandy can play like this with their talent, and we've been like where we were last year."
This is why I hate having the talent conversation. This is exactly underscores where I hate having. Oh, we just need this guy and that guy and this guy. No, man, scheme it up for what you have. Dude, better coaches do that, and Hugh Freeze needs to find a way to do that. Vandy, they didn't beat Texas. They're not going to beat Texas, but boy. One score game in the fourth quarter, what top 5 team in the country? Vandy, I tweeted out their last 4 recruiting classes were ranked 40, 53, 32, and 49. Yet they beat Alabama, right? They beat Kentucky, right? They hung in with Texas.
They're still giving Texas a game.
Yeah, look, come on, man. Come on, dude.
Yeah. Lawrence Robinson asked, "Do we put Vandergriff on his back today?"
Hopefully. I asked Keldrick that question. He said he's going to get after it, so we'll see.
And he's been getting after it throughout this season.
Yeah, he's having a hell of a season.
Man. He's having a really good season. So props to the young man. Oda Smith says, "Feed Hunter."
Yeah, Jarquez is averaging. I mean, he didn't have a great game per the averages last week, but I mean, again, that was more about how they used him and when his number was called than anything. He had a few big runs. I just hope they feed him early in this one. Establish the run.
Reeves Uppercut gives a score 21-17, so he has Auburn actually getting over that 20-point threshold.
21 is asking a lot of this team, but I hope you're right.
Oda Smith says if we score 28, we win. We probably win big if we get to it.
Yeah, could not agree more. Touchdown a quarter.
Justin Farmer says, man, combine that great defense with offense, man. I think this Auburn team is a solid playoff contender.
Yeah, an average offensive performance, and Auburn's probably a one-loss team right now. Average.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Justin Farmer says Auburn should be 5-1 or 6-1 right now.
Underscoring the point. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. This is why this is so difficult to predict how Auburn's going to do. Shadrack says, can y'all explain why Keontae Scott has been giving up so many big plays this season? He was really good a year ago.
That's a great question for Ike. If you're not a member, go check out those film reviews.
Yeah.
There are answers there.
Indeed. TK says, no improvements from Peyton Thorne, just more of the same Justin Farmer. But tonight, a bet a turn on Auburn and under on Wednesday. He better do better.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Peyton. I don't know. I'm tired of the Peyton Thorne conversation. Like, there's nothing we can say about Peyton that we haven't said already. This is a quarterback he's chosen to go with. Find a way to scheme this thing up, man, so you can get the most out of him. I know he hasn't played well at times, but I still don't think that this staff is getting the most out of Peyton.
Yeah. Oda Smith with his $2 super chat says, I'm on my second pint of Jose. This could end bad.
Drinking early. I like it. All right. Load up.
Specifically, Oda, end bad for you or for Auburn? You on your second pint. So I was just curious about that. Let me know. Wonder Boy says, I'm thinking this will turn into a field goal kicking contest. Kind of thinking this is a 15-10 or 18-13 type of game.
That's scary. I wonder, did we see anything on the availability report about Alex McPherson?
I don't want this to turn to a field goal.
Yeah, me neither.
I really don't. I really don't want this to turn to a field goal kicking contest because I don't think we do well if that happens. Ephesians 2 verses 8 and 9 says, let's be honest, though, I'm not sure when Scott has been, quote unquote, good. He was a good pass rusher last year at times, but he can't cover at all.
They started using him differently this year at the beginning of the year.
Well, he was trying to play on the outside.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that didn't work. It didn't look promising. Did he play in the spring game, Mike? I don't remember if he was in the spring game playing on the outside, but the experiment of him moving to the outside did not go well. And then putting him back at the slot corner or the nickel back still hasn't gone well. It's been a disappointing season for that young man. Reeves Uppercut says, man, Vandy was a bad late interception away. They're going to clap us next weekend.
Boy, that Boston Toss and Lawson segment was a disaster. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Should have put every single game in the toss column.
Imagine if Auburn had Pavia.
You know, it's funny. Find your quarterback and build a team around him. That's it. Find your quarterback and build a team around him. And look at all the teams, man, in the top 25 right now. Everybody really knows who their guy is.
Yeah.
Right? They've known who their guy is. And Auburn has just struggled like that. You know, I'm looking at teams like BYU, who's shocking a lot of people this year. Jake Retzlaff is a dude, and he's just out there making plays. Is he the best quarterback in college football? Not even close. Yeah. But he's exactly what they need. He makes all the plays that they need when they need him to make it, and they're right in the conversation now. I mean, right now they're a playoff team. Are they heads and tails more talented than Auburn? No, not even close. So, you know, if you get that wrong, which Gus is finding out right now with KJ Jefferson, it can spell disaster.
All right, TK says unless they taught Malcolm to kick, referring to the field goal kicking competition.
Oh man, I saw a team today that had their backup tight end out doing kickoffs. I don't know, man. It's tough. I praying for Alex. I hope that he gets it together.
Yeah, I mean, he's been cleared to play for 3 games now?
Yeah, I mean, look, they're being very overly cautious with him, and they said they felt like he could have been helpful in the 35-yard and in range, but we'll see. We'll see if they continue to manage it.
Brad Browning says the quiet part out loud. We lose a field goal kicking contest unless Alex comes back.
Yeah, Towns, man, it's all mental for him right now.
Struggling.
Yeah, he's struggling.
Otis Smith says Vandy beats us. That's a 22-22 all-time. I am amazed that they have the type of win-loss record they have against Texas.
Texas, yeah.
That's crazy.
8-3-1. Well, now 8-4-1.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
Like, pretty amazing.
They got a bunch of wins in the 20s.
Yeah.
Must have been it.
Got them when they were down.
Yeah, that's it. That had to be it.
Get your licks in. All right, Mike. Garen Parker says Alex is supposed to play tonight.
All right, there we go. We'll see how that goes.
We will see.
Ready to go on that voyage.
Marshall Jones says Texas shot themselves in the foot over and over is why Vandy was in the game. That makes me even more concerned about next week, Marshall, because I can't think of very many teams that shoot themselves in the foot more than Auburn does.
It's a combination of things, right? Like there have been plenty. We have had teams shoot themselves in the foot versus Auburn all season, but can you take advantage when they do that? That's it. Bottom line, when a team that is supremely more talented than you doesn't bring their A game, can you capitalize?
Yeah,
that's it. Alabama is not a more talented team than Vandy, but they got beat because they were ready to capitalize when Alabama didn't bring their A game.
All right. This has been an amazing pep rally. So, Mike G, any closing thoughts?
There's nothing left to say. I know the game's about to start here, so we'll let everybody go get settled in. But end of the day, man, we'll see. We'll see. Can Auburn start fast? This is not a team that's built to play from behind, so they need to get out quick, get out in front, and hold on for dear life. Get the 28 points as fast as you can. Play ball control in the end. Use 27. Take advantage of the big plays over the top. Get Malcolm and Cam involved. That's it. Those are my thoughts.
Not mad at it. Not mad at it. Yes, I agree. With team like when you have a struggling offense, slow starts are not your best friend. You're going to have a good first quarter. Auburn's going to have to set the tone and to your point, hold on in the second half, make plays in the second half to stay ahead. We will definitely see you guys at the half. It'll be Mike G and I. We will review the first half of the game, get your thoughts, give our thoughts. We will see you then. Enjoy what we hope to be is a good first half. And War Eagle.
War Eagle.